I think Wendy.
All right, welcome everyone. I know I'm setting you up differently today for good reason, because as Denny already announced, we just had the full moon last night. And I have not talked astrology for a while. I don't think I've talked about it in a couple months. And the last couple full moons, I don't even think I've mentioned it. I don't even think we've done a moon salutation in a while. And so that's what I thought we would do today. The full moon yesterday was in Aries, and Aries is a cardinal sign. You know, typically someone who's Aries is in a leadership role, you know, very active, very much a doer. Is there any Aries in here? Me too. But the ruling planet is Mars, and Mars is kind of the get up and go energy. Mars is like also a war type energy because it's fiery, you know. So with the moon being in Aries yesterday, the fire of the moon and that sign is supposed to motivate us to discover the next passionate pursuit. You know, where are we going next? It's supposed to give us some ambition. So if you look at the month of September, I don't know about you guys, but literally I was having to cancel workshops. I've canceled retreats. It's like everything that I had booked in September and October just got wiped out. And that's not in my nature at all. And it kind of freaked me out last month when everything was canceled for last month and this month. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And, you know, is the universe trying to tell me something? What I've discovered is the universe was really just kind of clearing my plate because I had this new creative idea, and I've been running with that with Allison, this YouTube channel we have called Awakening Soul Truth. And it's basically content on conversations to do with anything regarding the transition that we're going through on this planet, the evolution of humanity, spirituality, and metaphysics. So now I can actually see, okay, well, I was given a break from this area to focus on this area. But there's going to be a lot more happening, because last month in September, there were 6 of our planets in retrograde, which means it usually slows us down. It's usually an interrupter of some sort. We can't quite get things finished. The good news is 3 planets are turning direct this month. So Mercury's already gone direct, thank goodness, because it messes with not only communication, but electronics and cars. We just had Pluto go direct, and Pluto is considered the Lord of the underground. It's considered the planet that sends energy to unearth things. So with Pluto going direct, and with this full moon being in Aries, and with the eclipse coming up, there's going to be more truths getting revealed regarding our system. It's already been happening, and it's going to continue to happen. So hold on to your horses. The end of the month, which is the eclipse that's coming, it's said to be, you know, creating a little bit more chaos. So it's really important that we keep our yoga practice up to stay calm and serene through all of this. And the other planet that's going direct is Venus. So Venus is the ruling planet for Scorpio, and another planet. And I'm trying to think. Anyway, Venus is about relationships, attraction, love, and not just relations with other people, and not just relations with partner, but it could also be relations with your career or with your coworkers. So that's going to be an ongoing theme for this month as well. We're going to go ahead and set up in a restorative position because I want us to open the heart. We're going to use the blocks today. We're going to set up the first one on its tall height and the second one on its middle height. And it's going to create kind of a T. And I can't say T without thinking UT. We finally got a good team. We're up to number 6, and they're saying we might beat Alabama and Georgia. We're large. Okay, now that commercial is out of the way, we're gonna bring the block underneath the wrist and the tall block underneath the head. So it does take a moment to get settled in this position and to find that just right place on your back. And if you absolutely do not jive with this particular pose, I want you to look at Denning and see what he's done. He created a slide. He put the bolster over it, so it's not as much of a back bend, but it's still a hard opening position. So feel free to change up that position with the props if you need to make it softer and flush. So as you're residing here, go ahead and turn your palms open and feel the shoulder bones rolling back, which will broaden the collarbones, which will open up your chest to give space to the lungs and the heart. Close your eyes. Sense how this feels in your body. And I will tell you, I don't take extreme or exaggerated breaths when I'm on the blocks. But I do want you to try to emphasize your breath and magnetize your breath to the degree where it's under your command. And just feeling the ripple effect of the breath as it rolls between the belly and the chest, as it rolls up and down the vertebrae. We know that the full moon energy can sometimes disrupt sleep. It can sometimes amp up our emotions or make our minds more scattered. So utilize this time, calm mind and body, to clear out any debris, and to come back into the sanctuary of your own heart center. The fiery energy inside the body usually stems from our core, our solar plexus. This is the area that drives us and motivates us and puts us into action. But this fiery energy that the full moon is providing is also wanting to burn away anything that may be blocking or limiting us. And sometimes it's just a limiting thought or a limiting idea. The fire inside may be wanting to fuel your passion or aligning you to your purpose and independence. I want you to set your intention to allow your heart to open, to allow the brightness of the moon to bring light to the deepest corners of your heart, to heal any buried trauma, and to discover any hidden or obscured traits. This moon is inviting us to take charge of our life and to light up the world in a bold way. So now I want you to gaze at and up toward your mind's eye, the midpoint of your brow, as if you were looking up into the evening sky and finding that perfect circle of light. And imagine one of the moonbeams shining down through your brow, lightening your mind, and illuminating your face. Lighting up what has been buried in your heart. Let's just take 3 more breaths before we move out of this position. And to come out of this position, you can slide your hands in a little closer towards your waist. You can press down through your palms, peel the back side of your head up and use upper body strength and core strength to sit straight up. Once you sit straight up, go ahead and come to the tops of the sit bones and flex your ankles. Lift your arms up overhead. You're facing the windows, and as you exhale, begin to hinge forward from your hips. Your hands can come down beside the legs, on top of the legs, or they could even grab the feet if that's accessible for you. You're pressing through your heels, stretching out through the sternum, and gazing past the feet. Paschimottanasana. Affirming here as you hold, I am safe, and I am sound, and good things come to me and bring me peace. On your next inhale, go ahead and lift the arms straight up overhead. Bring in the trunk back up over the pelvis, and then exhale, bring the hands back home to the heart. All right, I'm gonna let you come up to stand in the way that works for your body. You're gonna have your feet lined up. Yeah, facing this dark wall. Don't worry, you're gonna face me in a moment. Grounding the feet, looking down at your toes to make sure they're pointed directly ahead. Line up your ankles, your knees, your hip points. Bring your hands to namaste at the heart. Good, on your next inhale, circle the arms out and up overhead. You're gonna lace your fingers together above. For the men, your right thumb's over your left. And for the ladies, the left thumb is over the right. The other fingers are laced except for the forefingers. If it's possible, shrug the shoulders up towards your ears, hug the head with your upper arms, and just stretch upward towards the sky, but keeping your feet buried down. Good, on your next exhalation, you're gonna curve to the right. Taking Chandrasana, crescent moon. Take deep breaths in and out through your nose. And focus on the surge of energy running up the left side body. On your next out breath, swing into your left hip a little bit more and exaggerate that curve, but we're not staying there. Inhale, come all the way back up. Good, now line up again. Pressing down to the soles of the feet, rising up to your navel and fingertips, and then exhale, curve to your left, Chandrasana, crescent moon. It's more about the length than how far you lean. And make sure the breath stays open and available. My teachers used to always say, imagine you're in between two panes of glass, keeping the arms alongside the ears as best you can. Now let's exaggerate it a little bit more by pressing into the right, creating a little bit more curvature, and then inhale, come up to the top, and as you exhale, you're gonna step to the right, and you're gonna be facing me now. With your feet wide, your toes turned out, you're gonna bend your knees, and you're gonna externally rotate your thighs. Bring your hands to prayer position at your heart. And as you inhale, glue the fingers together. This is called the moonbeam hand, different than the sunbeam hand. And your head's over your shoulders are over your hips. Keep your elbows as high as the shoulders. Maybe even contract your biceps. Gonna take one more deep breath here, and Kali Goddess. We focused on Kali 1 point last week. And then turn your heels back one at a time behind your toes. Stretch out through your arms and legs. And this is called 5-point star. So in 5-point star, really radiate out through the arms and then squeeze the shoulder blades to sit them in towards the spine. And then exhale, relax that work. Inhale, squeeze the arms and shoulders back, and exhale, relax. One more, squeeze it back and relax. Good, now rotate your left foot towards the short end of the mat. Good, lengthen out over that side. And as you exhale, windmill that hand to the shin and the other arm up towards the heavens above. Now, if you wanted to place your hand on a block instead of your body, you can grab one of those. Otherwise, it's fine to be here. Think about elongating your legs, elongating your arms, stacking your shoulders, and then trying to open up space for the diaphragm between the belly and the chest. So in other words, you're lengthening through the spine. Now take that top hand and you're going to stretch it over the ear. Again, creating another side bend. From triangle pose, affirm internally. Energy and joy flow down to me. As you inhale, bring that arm up in your whole torso. Good. We're going to offset this back foot. So put a little slight lunge in that front knee so that you can hop the other foot over. And you can now roll the right hip to face your left foot. So the hips are more even and square. And I am on a different side because I'm trying to mirror you. Now, see if you can take your left arm behind your back and then cross your right arm below that. Great. Morgan and Mary, Beth, you guys are doing great being the leader. Inhale, open up your chest and throat. Good. Exhale, slowly pressurize the feet and start to hinge over the front leg. When you start to hinge over the front leg, you're slightly dialing your navel towards the left thigh. Good. Breathe. This is pyramid pose. Affirm mentally within. I'm giving myself over into the flow of grace. On your next inhalation, gently begin to build yourself up. Good. Once you build yourself up, release your arms and sail them up alongside your ears. Extending long through the vertebrae. On the exhalation, you're going to lead with your arms and your heart to fall back down and in. This time, the hands can relax to the blocks, to the leg, to the floor. Folding back into pyramid pose, but a different variation with the arms. Anytime we're folding down, it's about how well are we able to surrender? Is it possible for us to let go? So I've been hearing a lot of astrologers say that this particular full moon leading into the eclipse will be removing something or someone from our lives to create more space for something new. I'm thinking it's going to be more at a global level, or more at a national level than really a personal, but you may experience both. Now on your next inhale, slide your hands up to your waist, slowly begin to rise up to the top. All right, you're gonna rotate to face me again. So just turning your feet. This time, coming back to 5-point star. Now ideally, doesn't have to be perfect, but ideally the wrists will line up over your ankles in this position. So if you have too short of a distance between the feet, try widening the legs. All right, pick up your heart. And as you exhale, you're gonna fold forward and down. Maybe stacking onto your hands. And it's okay if the hands don't touch the floor. But if your hands do, you're gonna walk them back so that you're continuing to invert yourself, perhaps allowing the crown of the head to face the floor. And then notice if there's any engagement in your knees or quads. There may not be if you're just releasing over to stretch the hamstrings. But see if you can plug down through the mound of the big toes. See if you can ignite some action in your knees to contract your quads to support the stretch behind your legs. If you have a tendency to experience vertigo, or if you've had recent eye or dental surgery, you may want to come up halfway instead of lowering the head more than the heart. So always remember that because we don't always instruct that. One more deep breath. And affirming as you hold. Now relax and cast aside all mental burdens and barriers. On your next inhale, walk the fingertips out in front of you. Lengthen out through the spine, lifting your head and heart halfway. Good, stack your hands back to the waist or hips and begin to stand all the way up. Awesome. All right, we're gonna rotate the other foot towards the front door. We're gonna open out the arms again, shoulder height. We're gonna stretch out over the right leg. Windmill down to your triangle pose. Good, so notice if you have the tendency to lean forward of the leg with that shoulder. If you do, swing your heart and shoulder back. Take that top arm, reach it out across the ear. Creating a side bend here. Breathe into that left side body. Affirming energy and joy, flow down to me. Inhale, sail it back up overhead. Use that arm to help climb back up. Relax your arms down. Put a slight little lunge in that knee. Offset your other foot and square your hips. You're facing the windows again. So remember on this side, we're going to crisscross the arms. Take your right arm behind your back first and stack your left arm below that. Lean back slightly, open up the chest and throat, and as you exhale, you're going to slowly cascade over that front leg. Slightly tilting the navel in its direction. Notice when your big toe wants to peel away from the sticky mat, and then glue it back down. That's going to help to strengthen your knees and your inner quads. Gaze towards your foot if possible, and most importantly, breathe. Inhale, push down to the left foot and slowly climb back up. Release your hands apart and float the arms up towards the ceiling. Once you help to extend your spine by lifting your arms overhead, we're going to fold again. Push the tailbone back. Reach forward and out as you lower and release over the front leg. And breathe. Another variation of pyramid pose. Think about what the astrology was saying about looking deep within. How the fire can burn away any past trauma. And how it can also discover any hidden traits or treasure. And then affirm internally, I give myself over into the flow of grace. On your next in-breath, let's slowly glue down that left foot. Let's slowly build ourselves back up, arms overhead. Exhale, hands return to prayer position at the heart. When you're ready, go ahead and step up. Join the other foot. So you're at the short edge of the mat, facing the other end of the room. Sweep the arms to your sides and up overhead. Lace your fingers together to that temple mudra. I've also heard this called Jupiter mudra. I've also heard it called Kali mudra. Let's lean and curve to the left. Opening up the right side body, which is the solar panel side, the masculine side, the side where anger tends to present if it's been deposited or held. Swing out a little bit extra and then inhale, come up to the top. And then exhale, curve to the right. Breathe well. And let strength and courage fill up your body cells. Swing out a little bit more. Inhale, come all the way back up to the top. Exhale, bring hands to namaste at the heart and close your eyes. So that was an abbreviated moon salutation. So affirm internally as you picture the full moon in your mind's eye. Salutations to the moon, to the awakening life within, and to the dawning of a higher state of consciousness in all beings. All right, open the eyes. Inhale, circle the arms back up. Exhale, swan dive down to Uttanasana. You're standing forward fold. Now notice if your weight is all in your heels. If it is, just tip your whole body forward so that you feel weight below your toes as well. Nod your head yes. All right, think of the similarity of Paschimottanasana, the first active pose we did, with this active pose we're doing here. This might feel easier for your low back because we're doing the fold from a standing position. It's a little harder for the back to do a forward fold from a sitting position. Affirm here. Nothing and no one on this earth can hold me down or back. I choose to align to my purpose and independence. Inhale, you're going to step back plank. So your arms are your structure, holding the architecture of your body up. Stay long, stay strong through your limbs and back. Now shift forward and slowly come down to your belly. And once you come down to your belly, lift and stretch the right leg back and lower. Lift and stretch the left leg back and lower. Keep the feet together, then shoulders roll back and lift to a baby cobra. Just a baby cobra. It doesn't have to be very deep. You want your legs back. You want your heels turning slightly towards each other. You want your glutes really strong. If you need to modify, you can always slide your forearms out and come into Sphinx pose instead. Good, take one last deep breath in. And now everyone slide the forearms forward. Prop your head and your heart up to Sphinx and gaze towards the light streaming through the windows. And if you want to close your eyes, you will close your eyes. Your feet stay down, your glutes stay firm, your belly retracts, your heart lifts. And then you find a certain angle that's going to be proper for your neck. Because we all have different issues in the body. And it's going to feel differently to each of us. That on your next in-breath, pick up the crown of the head, just a slight distance more. Good. Exhale, lower down to your chest. Slide your hands back underneath your shoulders. If you need to come to table first, that's okay. If you can curl your toes under, you might be able to lift your chest and then roll back like a wave to downward facing dog. So basically, just find your way into this inversion, downward facing dog. That work out for you? Okay, cool. Beautiful, you guys. All right, sail your seat up, 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 and away. Up, 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 and away. And let your head bow between the arms. Keep pressing down through the balls of the feet to take your seat even higher. And keep the breath nice and full. All right, when you're ready, I want you to walk the feet forward towards your hands. Meditationally stepping one foot at a time, feeling the hands up along the way, returning to your Uttanasana, your standing forward fold. And then inhale, sweep the arms to your sides and up overhead. Exhale, bring hands home, sweet home to the heart. So we included one modified sun salutation with the moon salutation. Now turn to face me again and separate your feet. And then your knees. Is this okay today? Yeah. Sweet. And then open the arms. All right. Is this okay for your hip, Linda? Awesome. Great. Everybody's doing great. Okay, so this is what I don't want to see. Okay. Y'all remember Forrest Gump? No Forrest Gump legs. Okay. We're going to twist from the waist up. So it's kind of like, remember as a kid, they're like, okay, rub your belly and pat your head. Yeah. Right? It's kind of the same kind of idea. So the two halves of the body are doing different functions. The lower body staying stable, it's our stabilizer. And then the upper body is including the movement and where we're trying to build mobility. Good, come back to center, straighten your legs. And we're gonna slowly come back down to the floor. So take your time coming down. I know sometimes I do poses coming up and down, but Beth is doing so well. Colleen. They both have knee surgeries, okay? So they just took their time and then came down safely. It's all I want, it's all I ask, be safe. Take your hands beside your body. And if you can't sit cross-legged, you don't have to. You can sit with your legs straight, all right? So continue to check in with your knees. Boost your heart up. Lift your right arm up. And then when you're ready, you're gonna bring this hand down, not all the way. And then inhale, sweep it right back up. Good, exhale, bring it down. And build it up. It's a little twist with the upper back. Good, then inhale up. Good, now lower that hand down and then lift the other. Exhale, bring it down. No intention to touch the floor or anything. And inhale, sail it up. Good, exhale, take it down. Inhale. Good, exhaling down. And inhaling up. Good, and set the hand back to the floor. And we'll slide the legs out. So if you want to scoot your buttocks back so that your heels have padding, that sometimes feels better for the feet. Lift the toes up and spread the toes wide. And then you're just going to hinge forward. And just go a fraction of the way, and then I want you to think about moving a line from your pubic bone to the navel, moving a line from your navel to your heart. And then once you lengthen the spine, you're going to find that's going to ignite more stretch through the inner thighs and hamstrings. Check in if you have more flexibility available, then you can coast down a little bit more. Konasana, the wide angle pose. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, we're going to cross the left hand over towards the right foot. Good, inhale, sit up. Exhale, helicopter over to the other. Good, and we're just inhaling through center and exhaling with that twist. So in Blissful Flow, we did core work with the contracting the core. Here, I'm using some core work with twist. That's where our inner fire resides. Now, the next time you cross over to this side, hold. Bring the other hand around in front too. See if you can focus on your belly and churn it a little bit more towards the leg that you're facing. And then bring it up and bring it over to the opposite side, both hands reaching out, and then putting that little extra churning action in the abdomen. Sitting down on both sits bones. And then inhale, drawing up. All right, come to a comfortable seat. Hook your right arm under your left, and it may look like this. It may be like this. You might be able to intertwine it all the way up with your hands to see what's possible. Garudasana arms. Close your eyes because the affirmation here is relevant to the rest of the year. At the center of life's storms, I choose to remain calm and serene. The center of life's storms, I choose to remain calm and serene. Rehook the left arm underneath the right. Again, we're all going to look a little different. It may look like this, it may look like this. Might be able to intertwine. See how it feels around your shoulder blade. See if you can pick your elbows up as high as your breastbone or collarbones. And once more, at the center of life's storms, I choose to remain calm and serene. So I read this article the other day and it was talking about some of the damage that's been done with Hurricane Ian. They're just now, starting to get to some of the homes, but now they're full of alligators and snakes.
Oh,
It's like, can you imagine how hard it would be to remain calm and serene in that circumstance? Very challenging. So we have to hold the space for them. Okay, that's our job as yogis. Hold the space, hold the light for the others that are going through the thick of the mud. All right, we're gonna come down to our backs. I think this is gonna be okay. Is it okay to tuck the knees in? Spun out. What about the spun out? It doesn't matter. So if you have some difficulty with your knees, maybe take a hold of your back of your thighs instead of the front of your knees. Because the front of your knees is going to put more flexion and weight there. And then fan your arms out shoulder height. And let the knees toss over to the left. Take a supine twist. Close your eyes, relax and lounge a moment. If you need any support, supply it. Think about every breath you take, feeding your inner flames, because oxygen feeds fire. Imagine the flames are burning away, and blocks or limitations. Remembering that usually lies in the mind and the psyche. And then inhale, draw the knees through center. And then exhale, let them roll right. After the age of 30, we don't get proper circulation into the spinal disc. So this is something that the twist provides. And a week or so ago, we focused on the lymphatic system. We focused on where the clusters of lymph nodes were located. And we talked about different things that could stimulate our lymphatic system. And twist and diaphragmatic breathing can assist that. When you're ready, inhale, grip in your belly to draw the knees through center and land your feet to the sticky mat. Grab one of your blocks. And once you have a block in hand, press down through the feet, tuck and lift your hips. Slide the block under your sacrum and take supported bridge. Now, if you would prefer waterfall as your final inversion, all you have to do is float the feet in the air so the legs are suspended. If you'd rather keep your feet on the ground, that's okay too. They're both inversions. This is good for the spleen, one of the organs that works with the lymphatic system, This is good for the thyroid gland. It's good for calming the mind. Take 3 more breaths. When you're ready to exit, land your feet. Inhale, tuck and lift. Exhale, remove the block and roll on down. And then roll to one side of your body. And we're going to create a slide like Denny created in the beginning. Similar but different. So instead of it being like a T, that middle block is going to turn sideways. And then with this slide, I'm going to give you an option. Your first option is do what Denny did in the beginning, which is laying back like this, like a recliner. Your second option is, now I would suggest this if the full moon interrupted your sleep. If you didn't get solid rest, I would do legs up. And I didn't mean to have the only one the whole class. It's fine. I love the Om. But I'm going to play the healing mantra for Shavasana today. Ra represents the sun. Ma represents the moon. Da represents the earth. And Sa represents the infinite one. Sa, say, so hum means may we merge with the infinite one who created the sun, the moon, and the earth. So for Shavasana today, since you're listening to this mantra, feel free to picture that full moon in your mind's eye, if that's your preference. Or you can picture yourself cocooned in a healing, warm, beautiful, green light. You can put that bubble around you and you can let it flow through you. You can even send it specifically to an area that you know needs some healing. Whether it's a place, a situation, or something personal in your heart. It could be even a place inside your body. want you to now imagine there's a glowing green, healing ring of light wrapped around the entire planet. Connecting and healing all of humanity. Let it reach down to heal the land and the sea. Plants in the animal kingdom as well. Begin to deepen the flow of your breath. As you awaken your breath, feel free to bring a little motion to your hands and feet. The legs are up, you can hug the knees in and roll to one side. If you're on your back, you can bend your knees and roll away from the bolster and then come up to sit. Feel free to sit on your bolster. Sit more formally. Spine erect. Eyes turned down. But your awareness turned in and up. Join the palms together for prayer. Let's take a moment with our hands in this gesture to give gratitude, since it's Indigenous Day, to all the Indigenous groups around the globe. Not just here in America, but elsewhere. How they have stayed connected to the planet, to the earth and its resources. And all throughout the ages, they've tried to show us the way. May we learn from their examples. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste. Thanks, guys, for joining me today in this class. Thank you for bringing your sister. You guys have a beautiful rest of your day and week.